If you live with more than one person in your home, your cat has already made a decision. They've chosen a favorite, and it probably wasn't who you'd expect. You might think it's whoever feeds them. It's not. You might think it's whoever plays with them the most. It's not that either. Your cat's selection process is silent, invisible, and happening every single day based on criteria that most humans would never even consider. Some of you watching this are the chosen one, and you don't even realize it. And some of you have been wondering for years why your cat always gravitates towards someone else, when you're the one who does everything for them. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how that choice was made, and you might finally understand what you can do to shift it. 1. It was never about the food. Let's get the biggest myth out of the way right now. Most people assume that whoever fills the bowl is the favorite. It makes sense on the surface. You're the provider. You're the reason they eat. Surely that earns you something. But in a cat's mind, food and emotional attachment are stored in completely different places. Think of it this way. You probably have a favorite restaurant. You go there often. You know the menu by heart. But if someone asked you who your favorite person is, you wouldn't say the chef. Food creates routine. It creates expectation. But it doesn't create the kind of bond your cat is looking for when they choose their person. Researchers studying feline social behavior found that cats distinguish clearly between the human who provides resources and the human who provides safety. These are not the same thing. A cat can eat from your hand every day for 10 years and still walk across the room to sleep next to someone who has never fed them once. Because feeding says, "I will keep you alive." But the person they choose says something different. That person says, "I will keep you safe." And for a cat, those are two entirely different promises. 2. They're testing you and you don't know it. Your cat runs small experiments on every person in your household, every single day. And based on the results, they update their internal ranking. Here's what those experiments look like. Your cat enters a room and meows. One person immediately looks at them, talks to them, moves toward them. Another person glances up, says something briefly, and goes back to what they were doing. To you, both of those responses seem fine. To your cat, those are completely different answers to the same question. The question isn't, "Will you feed me?" or "Will you play with me?" The question is, "Do you see me right now?" Cats don't need constant attention. In fact, they dislike it. What they need is acknowledgement. A brief pause, a soft vocal response, a slow blink. Something that says, "I know you're here and I'm not a threat." The person in your household who does this most naturally, most consistently, without overreacting, without ignoring, without forcing interaction, that's the person your cat is watching most carefully. And over weeks and months, that's the person who becomes the favorite. Not because they tried harder, because they responded better. 3. Your energy is louder than your voice. Here's something that will make sense the moment you hear it, but that most people have never consciously thought about. Your cat can read your nervous system. Not your words, not your actions, your energy. Every person in a household carries a different baseline. One person might be calm, slow-moving, and quiet. Another might be energetic, louder, more physically expressive. Both can be wonderful people. But to a cat, those two energies are worlds apart. Cats are prey animals as much as they are predators. Their survival depends on reading the energy of every living thing around them. Fast movements register as unpredictable. Loud voices register as threat adjacent. Heavy footsteps register as something large, approaching. It doesn't matter that you're just being yourself. To your cat, the person who moves slowly, speaks softly, and exists with less physical intensity is the person whose presence feels safest to be near. This is why cats so often choose the quietest person in the household. It's not preference in the way humans experience preference. It's a survival calculation running in the background of their brain every second of every day. The person with the calmest energy isn't just pleasant to be around, they're the person your cat's ancient wiring says is the least likely to cause harm. And that calculation, running silently, constantly, is one of the most powerful factors in who your cat ultimately chooses. 4. Respecting their no is worth more than 1,000 treats. This is the one most people get wrong, and it might be the single biggest reason your cat chose someone else over you. When your cat walks away from you mid-pet, what do? Be honest. Do you reach after them? Do you call them back? Do you pick them up and put them back on your lap? Every single time you override your cat's decision to leave, you're telling them something. You're saying, what you want doesn't matter as much as what I want. You might not mean that. You probably don't. But that's what registers. Now think about the other person in your house, the one your cat seems to prefer. Watch how they interact. Chances are, that person lets the cat come and go freely. When the cat leaves, they don't chase. When the cat is nearby, they don't grab. When the cat doesn't want to be touched, they withdraw their hand without making it a moment. To your cat, that person has passed the most important test there is. They've proven over and over that your cat's boundaries will be respected. And in the world of cats, the person who respects your no is the safest person alive. That's who you sleep next to. That's who you choose. Not the person who loves you the most aggressively, but the person who loves you on your terms. 5. Scent compatibility is real. This one might be the most frustrating item on this list because it's the one thing you have the least control over. Cats live in a scent world that humans can barely imagine. Every person in your house smells different to your cat, and some scents are simply more compatible than others. Researchers have observed that cats consistently gravitate toward humans whose natural scent profile is calmer, less masked by strong artificial fragrances. Us perfume, cologne, scented lotions, heavily fragranced deodorant. These things that humans find pleasant can be overwhelming or even irritating to a cat's 200 million scent receptors. The person in your home who wears the least fragrance, who smells the most like themselves, is often the person your cat is most comfortable being physically close to. This doesn't mean you need to stop showering, but it does mean that the human you present to the world layered in products designed to appeal to other humans might not be the human your cat connects with. They want the version of you that's underneath all of that. The raw version, the version you are at the end of the day when everything's been washed off and you're just you. That's the scent your cat bonds with. And the person in your house who carries that natural scent most consistently, whether by choice or just by habit, has an invisible advantage you probably never knew existed. 6. The final test happens when you sleep. Everything I've told you so far, the responsiveness, the energy, the respect for boundaries, the scent, all of it leads to one decisive moment. Night. When your cat chooses where to sleep, every factor we've discussed collapses into a single decision. This is the final exam, and your cat takes it every night. Watch where they go when the house gets quiet. Watch who they walk toward when every door is open and every option is available. That choice is not random. It's the result of hundreds of small tests conducted over weeks and months, processed through a system that's been refined over thousands of years of evolution. The person your cat sleeps with is the person who scored highest on every invisible metric: safety, calmness, respect, scent, consistency. Not once, but every day, repeatedly, until the data was overwhelming. If that person is you, now you know what you earned and how you earned it. If that person isn't you, now you know exactly what to change. Not grand gestures, not more treats, not more toys. Just softer movements, quieter presence, slower hands, respected boundaries, consistent calmness. Because your cat isn't looking for the person who loves them the most. They already know everyone in the house loves them. They're looking for the person who makes them feel it the safest.